Howdy there, folks. It's your old buddy Mate McMeme making another video. For you to enjoy in this wintry time of year, and it's the most wintry winter we've had in the last couple of years in the States here. Now you know me. I live in Portland right now. Not Portland, Maine, Portland, Oregon. Funny story, actually. I was originally going to move to Portland, Maine, but when I googled Portland apartments, I just clicked on the first result without really thinking about it, and actually turned out to be Portland, Oregon, and I didn't realize that until after I had already electronically signed the lease and everything. So I was kind of strong-armed myself into coming here. But what you might not know about me is that I actually come from the Great White North. I was born and raised in Canada. I grew up in Newfoundland. It was a great childhood that I had. But let me tell you Americans talking about how this is, the biggest snowstorm we ever done seen, or that kind of thing. I'd invite you to go on up there to Newfoundland in the wintertime. You'll see some sights that'll change your life. You ever see a dog get frozen to a fire hydrant as it's peeing because it freezes so fast? You gotta call the fire department, get them to chop off the stream of pee-pee with a fire axe. So I figured for some of you more snow-ignorant Americans that I could give you just a little bit of brief rundown about heavy snow, some of the things to be on the lookout for, some of the things just that it's good to know. So, one of the big things about snow that a lot of people who aren't in areas where it snows a lot need to know is that there's a few different types of snow. Most people only ever think of snow as just a single thing, but there's actually a few different types of snow that will develop over the course of snow being on the ground for varying amounts of time and in different conditions. Now, snow falling down is most always the same. I mean, you got the snow that doesn't stick, but that barely even counts as snow, really. When snow first, falls down within the first 2 to 3 days thereabouts, is my personal favorite kind of snow, where it's soft, it's kind of less cold than snow can get, believe it or not. It's the kind of snow that you like to play around in, have a snowball fight, that kind of thing. And that kind of snow lasts for about 2 or 3 days after the first snowfall, depending on how the weather is. Obviously, it can melt before then, but assuming that the snow is going to be there indefinitely, the first 2 or 3 days are quite a bit of fun. After that, things start to get a little bit dicey. After 2 or 3 days, your snow can turn into one of two options, one of two forms that it can take after the initial, nice fun snow. Option 1, and the one I prefer of the two, although it isn't quite ideal, I wouldn't say. You have the frozen snow, and I know some of you might be sitting there thinking, "Oh, isn't snow already frozen? Isn't that the whole idea?" Well, shows what you know. If it remains, cold enough below freezing for several days, the snow will just, it'll start getting hard. It'll start getting, even colder. It'll basically turn into a big fucking thing of ice. And that's when the roads get extra dangerous. That's when you don't want to ever go outside because snow isn't fun to walk or play in. By that point, you're usually tired of it being so darn cold everywhere. Just not a fun time. You can't do snowball fights, you can barely even, chip away at the snow with your hand to get a snowball, and if you do, you'll give somebody a black eye by hitting them with it. Not a fun time, but not nearly as bad as the other form that the snow can take, which is slush. And slush is if it's slightly above freezing. Sometimes it'll rain during the daytime, but during the nighttime it'll be cold enough so that some of the snow will melt, but not all of it. And if you live in a bit more of a dirty, like a dirt-filled area, place that's prone to mud, I tell you what, slush is the worst kind of weather. It's even slipperier than ice, believe it or not. It's filthy, it's gross. It just looks like gross brown and white stuff all over the place. Absolutely disgusting. You slip on it, you fall down, you're all filthy. Terrible, terrible, terrible weather. Other snow tips? Well, I mean, get some chains on your car. If you gotta go drive. Have a stock of water, or maybe get yourself a generator if you can afford one. Yeah, that's it. It's my snow tips for you guys. I hope you found that informative. I'm not really from Canada, just in case you're wondering.